global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. So a few hours ago, the Nnamdi lawyers, the likes of Barrister Kingdom, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, is actually a senior lawyer in practice, were actually remanded in Kuje prison. Of course, the full details on that is in our check out playlist in our previous videos, where he went to clinic because of sustained health issues, simply because, well, of course, that's an over 70 years old man. And then finally they're out. They've perfected their bills, they're out. But there's some terms and there's some message they sent, not just to IGP alone, but for the government of the day. There have been these controversies. Of course, you're going to hear all of what they said. The controversy of contempt of court that the likes of Aloy Ejimakor and Kingdom, Barrister Kingdom, went through, being that the case is still in court. They have no business protesting. All of that, he addressed it, really, and the technicality involved, he also mentioned it. But there's something unique, Barrister Kingdom said that caught my attention. I feel also probably for want of audio issues towards the end of the video, I'll just give you a quick summary of what he said. He talked about the issue of paying bandits, that this whole issue, this issue of Nigerians, leadership, people in power, leaders in power, always seem to be segregating some sets. Unfortunately, did mention the Southeastern set being segregated, but there's some bandits who, despite all they have done against humanity, against Nigerians, against citizens of Nigeria, they were pardoned, and not even in prison, but pardoned. They were pardoned despite all their atrocities, and they were, taken abroad, schooled abroad, they went through their trainings abroad, and they're being paid their own payroll, their own salaries. While the average Nigerian who have not committed any crime, who are struggling to make ends meet, and they dare to protest, they remand them in prison. Even them, they, as lawyers, are also not exempted. And he talked about the sectors or regions who seem to be paying dearly for all of this. Of course, I'm going to allow you to watch these videos. I get to hear what Aloy Ejimakor said, that is bringing another new generation of debate amongst the legal luminaries. Let's watch them. We'll come back for more with my colleague.
To share your experience, considering the fact that you were actually living in denial on the day you were arrested. And what has this experience actually taught you?
Well, this experience is traumatic. Speaking honestly, it's traumatic for me. It's traumatic for my colleagues, everybody. If you say it isn't. Traumatic in the sense of the manner of the arrest. It was very brutal. People who were cooperating with the police were being shoved around, being picked up. Some of them sustained injuries. Tear gas canisters were deployed directly at most of us. Two had impact on me. And, in fact, if we didn't have strong lungs, some of us would have given up the ghost on the spot. I don't think that type of brutality has a place in a well-ordered modern society. This is the type of thing that we need to do away with in Nigeria. Even at the police headquarters, CID, Gariki, the command, they deployed canisters, several canisters of tear gas just to get us to bundle us into vehicles that will take us to Abattoir. You didn't need to do that because we were already under your control. So that's something that should abhorrible and should be condemned by all and sundry. It is not good, it's unlawful, it's brigandage, and it is executive rascality in high places.
While you were in detention, now we are starting to hear that what is your opinion? Considering the fact that you also have
when the protest was directed, let me make this clear. The protest was directed against the presidency, not against the judiciary. There are things that come first. If the presidency or the executive branch of government does not put you up for trial, no court has the authority to initiate prosecution against you. So it's a question of where to place the blame. I've noticed a lot of understanding as if we are protesting against the court. No, the court didn't initiate it. The presidency did. The attorney general did. So if the presidency or the executive branch says Nnamdi's case should no longer be prosecuted, the court will have nothing to try.
Exactly.
This is our point. So those people saying Nnamdi is on trial and we are interfering with judiciary, contempt of court, blah blah blah. No, come on, that's complete misunderstanding of the situation.
Yes.
It is Tinubu we wanted to talk to. You don't have any business prosecuting a man that has done nothing wrong.
Yes.
And a man you brought into the country under situation that offended humanity, international law, and even Nigerian law.
Yes.
You don't have a business putting him up for trial. So withdraw. Under section 174, I think, of the Constitution, he can direct the Attorney General to do a nolle prosequi. It was done for sure here, right? It was done. It has been done in history for a whole lot of people. If the presidency or the executive branch or the attorney general can say we are no longer interested in the case, and that's the end of it. That was the purpose of the protest.
Yes. And I was the organizer.
He initiated it.
Yes.
Okay, by Kingdom.
Yeah, welcome.
In all of this drama that played out about 5 days back, what's your own stance?
Well, my own arrest is so dramatic. My own is a situation where the IG himself has become the chief terrorist of the Federation. And you know they say corruption. Sir, I want to say something. I think there is possibility for us to take pictures now or later. I got one. If you are just staying I gave it the former governor of Texas accused the national security the one paying bandits. So pay them drugs, you pay them salary. I mean, Malamu in the budget. I don't have so many things. What about bro? Whose side did they go? I thought today I did. Okay. Where are they go now?